Hello again, everyone. This is Randy, your sewing machine man, and today we're looking at a drop-in bobbin with a non-metal bobbin case. And of course, that's just about everything they're making these days. It's drop-in bobbin, non-metal, and all of these have the problem that the thread will hang up, cause them to jam, and once the needle hits the bobbin case, we've covered this before, but I have a new way for you to see it. The bobbin case gets compromised. You can see where so I can catch it here, the needle strikes it on the side here, and it just completely takes it out of the game. And if you have a machine with a drop-in bobbin like this, you always want to have an extra one of these. Now, these can be reconditioned time and time again until they get to where the point they can't be reconditioned anymore. If you have just a little ding here, a little ding there. And the way to see if you have a ding, I was telling people, always a good idea for me is to take my nail and run around the edge and see if you feel any roughness. Well, different people have different sensitivities to feeling roughness, because I have figured out what is going to snag the thread and what's not. Just the slightest little snag. If I feel a little snag, like right there, just a little snag, I'll get what's called crocus cloth. It's industrial grade resin coated grit. It's basically denim that's impregnated with jeweler's rouge, and you polish it and polish it until it's shiny and that little spot goes away. If you don't have crocus cloth, or you don't want to run down to the Home Depot and grab some, you may have some denim lying about, and it'll just be a very mild abrasive, but without the crocus cloth. And you can do it just as well. It may take longer, but if you have a rough spot where it's just chafed around the edge from running dry, you just shine it up by running it across the denim, or even a piece of canvas would do, something that's kind of coarse, and you run it back and forth, and you'll get a nice shine on the edge. Yeah, that's a good shine. And it has to be shiny. You know, back in the day when they made things out of chrome, chrome is really hard, it's really shiny, it's really smooth. So they don't do chrome anymore. They'll do chrome in some of these parts, and they're shiny and smooth because everything that touches the thread and the fabric has to be metal, and it has to be shiny and smooth. That's why you see them plastic machines, but all the places that touch the thread guides, they're all metal, shiny, and smooth. Now, a good way to, if you don't want to trust your, sensitivity of touch on your thumb or your forefinger or whatever, if you just don't have that, I call it the cotton ball test. Now, I couldn't find any cotton balls, but I got one of my wife's cosmetic applicator pads here, remover pads. I don't know what she does with it. But anyhow, I ran it across here. Can you see that little tuft of cotton that it captured? Because it had a rough edge, you can see it there. Maybe if I turn it up here in the darkness, yeah, you can see that little tuft. Just run it across it, and you can see the little ding where the needle has struck that, because the hook turns counterclockwise, and if there's a snag, it catches this and spins it into the needle area, and the needle will strike it. So you just take a cotton ball. If you have a cotton ball, it's best, because they're really loosely woven, they'll really snag. You run a cotton ball across that, and it'll catch that, and you'll see it'll bring up a little tuft. Now, it could be over here. It could be, see on this one, it's got a real bad space. I took a big chunk out of that one. You can see that's got a real big tuft there where it grabbed it across that, and it'll grab it. And you'll see, okay, that has to be a rough spot. And if the thread goes across that, it'll grab the thread and it'll jerk it again. If it has one of those tough spots on it right there where the thread hangs, it has to be mitigated immediately. You take it out, you smooth it off. You can smooth it off with a file. You can smooth it off with an emery board that you do your nails with. You can use sandpaper, real light grit, real light finishing sandpaper, or ideally crocus cloth, or also denim. And you have to look at all the little places it could be, all around where the needle could enter it. You have to look on this side, in the center, and there's one right there where it caught it, right there. See that little tuft right there where it caught? Right there. There's a little place right there on the very tip. You have to look absolutely around the entire circumference of the bobbin case. And if there's one little place, it caught it again. If there's one little place that the thread will hang, It has to be smoothed out. Get out your crocus cloth, get out your denim, whatever you have, and if it wants to snag it, it will snag it, and then it will not sew until that's smoothed out. You get your file, you file it off, you can rough it in with the file, and then you finish it off with the crocus cloth or the denim. And I talked to 3 different ladies this week that didn't have the resources to get another bobbin case immediately, and they didn't have the resources to bring it to me for the service call. They just wanted to, can you just help me somehow? So I give them that information, and I'm making this video for them to follow up. And it's just a matter of being patient. Go around the entire circumference of that bobbin case, all the way around it. Start at one end and go all the way around. And sometimes a brand new one out of the package, I will take them out of the package and I will feel around there where they made them and they didn't polish them off, because it's just people making these things, and they have to be smooth from the factory, or they'll have a little imperfection where they took it out of the mold and they didn't smooth it off just right, and out of the box the crazy thing will be rough. There's a rough spot right there on that one. Really a rough spot. I don't know if it'll catch the on positive. It would if it was a loosely woven cotton ball, but there's a real bad spot right there. You can feel it. If you can feel it with your finger, it's going to definitely catch it. You can see it there. Bing, right there. With a needle, tagged it. Those have to be smoothed out. They have to be smooth, or else the machine will not function. The very next stitch it tries to make, it will jam. It'll drive you crazy. So that's a little helpful hint. Help keep your drop-in bobbin machine that has a plastic bobbin case. They're out there. Everybody's got them. Hard to avoid. Thanks.